The Battle of Dak To was a series of major engagements during the Vietnam War that took place from November 3 to November 22, 1967, in the central highlands of South Vietnam. Situated near the border with Laos and along the Ho Chi Minh Trail, the Dak To area was of strategic importance to both the North Vietnamese Army, NVA, and the United States, with its South Vietnamese allies. The battle is notable for its intensity, the high casualties suffered by both sides, and the difficult terrain in which it was fought. In the months leading up to the battle, American intelligence had detected a buildup of North Vietnamese forces in the area around Dak To. This was part of the NVA's strategy to cut South Vietnam in two and to distract American and South Vietnamese forces from the cities, in preparation for the Tet Offensive planned for early 1968. In response, the United States initiated Operation MacArthur with the aim of seeking out and engaging the NVA forces to prevent them from mounting attacks elsewhere. The United States deployed a significant number of troops, including elements of the 4th Infantry Division, the 173rd Airborne Brigade, and the 1st Brigade of the 1st Cavalry Division, Airmobile, along with South Vietnamese Army, ARVN, units. They faced a well-entrenched and prepared NVA force, which included elements of the 1st, 10th, 24th, 32nd, and 66th Regiments, totaling an estimated 6,000 to 10,000 troops. The battle consisted of several key engagements over the hills and valleys of the Con Tum province, with the NVA utilizing the difficult terrain to their advantage. The fighting was fierce and often close quarters, with both sides enduring heavy casualties. Some of the most significant engagements occurred over Hill 875, Hill 724, and Hill 882. Hill 875, the assault on Hill 875 was one of the most intense parts of the battle, lasting several days. American forces, particularly those of the 173rd Airborne Brigade, faced strong resistance from the NVA, who had entrenched themselves deeply. The battle for Hill 875 culminated in a costly victory for U.S. forces, who suffered significant casualties. Hill 724 and Hill 882, similar to Hill 875, these hills were the scenes of intense fighting, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The rugged terrain and well-entrenched NVA positions made the assaults particularly challenging. The Battle of Dak To was considered a tactical victory for the United States and South Vietnam due to the heavy casualties inflicted on the North Vietnamese forces and the prevention of a planned offensive against the Central Highlands. However, it also highlighted the tenacity of the NVA and their ability to sustain significant losses while continuing to fight. The battle resulted in a high number of casualties on both sides. U.S. and South Vietnamese forces suffered more than 1,000 killed and several thousand wounded. North Vietnamese casualties were estimated to be much higher, though exact figures vary. While the battle prevented the NVA from launching further offensives in the Central Highlands, it also showcased the limitations of search and destroy tactics in the dense jungle terrain of Vietnam. The heavy casualties and the fierce resistance encountered at Dak To foreshadowed the challenges the U.S. would face during the Tet Offensive a few months later. The Battle of Dak To remains one of the Vietnam War's most significant engagements, demonstrating both the resilience and the heavy costs borne by those involved in the conflict.